Hello there, you beautiful people. So I hope you had a lot of fun in creating your very first script and in completing the last challenge. You've honestly learned loads of stuff already, and in this video we're just going to focus on making your scripts just a bit easier to use. Until now, we can only run our scripts when we are in the folder that contains them, but in this video we're going to make it so that you can run your scripts no matter where you happen to be on your system. In this video, you're going to learn what the system's path variable is and how you can modify it to make it possible to run your scripts from anywhere on your system, just like you would with regular commands. By the end of this video, you'll be able to explain the purpose of your system's path variable, you'll be able to add new folders to your system's path, and ultimately, you'll be able to run your scripts from anywhere on your system. So, for extra command line comfiness, let's get started. So what is your system's path? Well, in Linux, the system's path is a variable that tells the shell which directories to search for executable files in. When you run a command in your terminal, the shell looks for that command in the directories defined in its path variable to see if it has a command that it can run. If it does not find an executable file with the same name as the command anywhere in the directories, then you will get a command not found error in your terminal. The benefit of adding your scripts to your system's path is that they then can be run from anywhere in your system simply by typing in the name of your script, just like regular commands. We can take a look at our system's path by running the command echo $path. Here we're seeing some rather terrifying output pop up on the screen, but it's really quite simple. All it is just a set of paths to folders, each separated by a colon. When we enter a command name or script name into the shell and press enter to run it, the system will start at the far left of this list and work its way through each folder looking for an executable file with that name and run the first one that it finds. While we could add our scripts to any one of these folders, we're going to create a new folder in our bash course directory and add it to our path. I'm currently in the bash course folder right now, so let's make a new folder here called scripts by running the mkdir command. And we're going to use this new folder to store our scripts. Now, we need to add our script to this folder. So let's move it in there. Okay, and now we're almost there. Now we just need to add this folder to our path so that the system will know to search it for scripts. The system's path is actually edited using the .profile file inside our home directory. The .profile file contains many configuration details for the bash shell, which the shell reads when it starts up. So let's head over to our home directory using cd and open our profile file by running nano /.profile. As a side note, this is actually a hidden file. What that means is if you run a normal ls, it won't show up, but you can still see it if you run ls-a, where the -a option means all. Hidden files are just Linux's way of making it so that the configuration files your system uses don't clutter up your view in your home directory. Now, if we scroll down to the bottom of this file, we can update our path by adding in export path equals, then open some quotes, $path, $home, /bash course, /scripts. Now what this does is overwrite the path variable to include our scripts folder at the very end of our path. This is a good place to put it because it means that on the one-off chance that we give a script the same name as a command that is already installed on our computer, like ls or something, those other commands will be given priority because they're further to the left, which can save us from unwittingly running into system-wide trouble. Okay, now let's save and exit the file. Now the .profile file is usually read when our shell boots up. If we want our shell to read the new version of the file, we have two choices. We can either reboot the shell by restarting our terminal, or we can use the source command to reload the file. The source command is usually the more convenient method, so let's use that. If we run source /.profile, this will cause bash to reload the .profile file. Now if we take a look at our path again, using echo $path, we can see that our path has been successfully updated to include our scripts folder. Great. Now because our first script is in our scripts folder, we can now run it from anywhere on our system. For example, we're currently in our home directory, but if we just type our first script, we can see that it runs perfectly. Awesome. Now, whenever we want to add a new script to our path, all we have to do is move it to that folder and ensure that the script has execute permissions, just like we saw in the previous videos. For example, if we move back to our bash course folder, and we move the backup script that we created in the last challenge into our scripts folder, and then we move back to our home directory, we can see that we can run our backup script just fine without needing to be in the same folder as the script. It's really as simple as that. So to recap, in this video, you learned that the path variable tells the shell which directories to search for executable files. You've learned how to add folders to your path by editing your .profile file, and you learned that by placing scripts inside any of the folders on your path, you can make them easily accessible no matter where you are on your system, in the same way that built-in commands are. It's useful to point out that you should also try, wherever possible, to avoid giving your scripts names that may conflict with any pre-existing commands on the system. Other than that, well done. You've come a very long way in such a short time and have now completed the first section of the course. To make sure that you've got everything, in the next video we're going to summarize all that you've learned during the first section and give you a super shiny section cheat sheet. So for all that good stuff, I'll see you in the next video.